and good day. This video will briefly explain about the Evaluator or PP for the Unified Evaluation for Education Service Officer or Pbppp. At the end of this video, you will be able to understand how the Evaluator is appointed, the criteria for appointing the Evaluator, the responsibilities of the Evaluator, the job scope of the Evaluator, the implementation phases of Pbppp, appointment of the Evaluator. The Evaluator is an Education Service Officer who has been appointed and approved by the Pbppp committee at the organization where they are currently employed. The Pbppp involves two evaluators, Evaluator 1 and Evaluator 2. The evaluation must be carried out by the evaluator who has a working relationship with the evaluated officer to gauge their performance in the current evaluation year, at least 6 months. Evaluators are individuals who meet specific criteria for carrying out an evaluation of the evaluated officer. The criteria for appointing an evaluator are as follows: to have knowledge and skills related to the evaluated officer's position, as well as to be able to objectively evaluate those skills. Another criterion is the evaluator must be appointed if the individual is one grade higher than the evaluated officer or the head of the organization or the supervisor to the evaluated officer. Additional criteria for appointing evaluator. If there are no officers holding permanent posts, or if the posts are insufficient in the organization, the evaluator may be appointed according to seniority or years of service in the current grade or selected by the committee, provided the set criteria are met. No immediate family relationships by blood or marriage. Husband, wife, children, siblings, nephews, nieces, in-laws, cousins between the evaluated officer and the evaluator. The evaluator has supervised the evaluated officer for not less than 6 months in an evaluation year. If the evaluated officer has served in 2 different departments for an equal length of time, then the evaluation shall be carried out in the current department. If the evaluated officer is supervised by more than one evaluator at different periods of time, and if there is no other eligible senior officers to evaluate, then the evaluator with the longest period of supervision or who has more tasks related to the evaluated officer may perform the evaluation. An immediate superior with a working relationship with the evaluated officer will perform the evaluation if no suitable evaluator is available due to the evaluation period being less than 6 months in the review year. In certain cases, the minimum period is 3 months. The evaluator is responsible for implementing the evaluation based on the following guidelines. It is carried out systematically, objectively, fairly, and transparently. It is performed continuously throughout the year based on competency, performance, and achievements of the evaluated officer in the review year. It is done without being influenced by achievements in previous years. It is done with the belief that the evaluated officer is an important asset whose potential can and should be developed over time. It is done in a calm and timely manner. It is free from biasness and favoritism. It is not done in extreme generosity or vice versa. Avoid taking an easy way out by awarding an average score. Avoid giving too much emphasis on recent positive or negative events that may influence the overall evaluation of the officer. The job scope of the evaluator is as follows. Attend trainings or briefings for the implementation of Pbppp. Plan the evaluation of the evaluated officer as determined by the Pbppp committee of the organization according to schedule. Evaluate the evaluated officer. Record the scores of the evaluated officer into the e-Prestasi module in SMG. Print the evaluation form from the e-Prestasi module in SMG. Discuss with the evaluated officer and record the achievement in the evaluation form. Give one copy of the evaluation form to the evaluated officer for filing purposes. Evaluate the evaluated officer at least twice a year. Maintain the confidentiality of the Pbppp scores of the evaluated officer at all times. Pbppp implementation phase. During the evaluation phase of the Pbppp implementation, flexibility is given to the organization to carry out the evaluation in the review year. The Ministry of Education Malaysia (MOE) will set the dates for the evaluation period. Submission date of final scores will be set by the Ministry of Education Malaysia (MOE). During the pre-evaluation phase, the tasks of the evaluators are to plan the evaluation, discuss work progress with the evaluated officer at least twice a year, to periodically identify evaluation implementation issues and take appropriate actions to overcome those issues, such as asking the evaluated officer to revise work strategies to increase performance. To utilize the first evaluation as a basis for the final evaluation at the end of the review year. To carry out the scheduled evaluation. During the evaluation, the evaluator should be aware of the following. Discussion of work progress periodically with the evaluated officer or at least twice a year. Provide copies of the evaluation form as proof of evaluation. One copy must be given to the evaluated officer. Identification of evaluation implementation issues and taking appropriate actions to overcome those issues, such as asking the evaluated officer to revise work strategies to increase performance. Recording the scores of the evaluated officer into the e-Prestasi module in SMG. After evaluating the evaluated officer, the job scope of the evaluator is as follows. Evaluation scores are confidential to those who are not involved. To ensure evaluation-related issues are discussed and decided by the organization's Pbppp committee based on guidelines using discretion and professional judgment. And the evaluator must also provide justification for the scores given to the evaluated officer if necessary. We have come to the end of the video on the Pbppp evaluator. For further details, you may refer to the manual, which can be downloaded from the e-Prestasi module in Sistem Maklumat Guru SMG. Thank you.